Hello beautiful people, this video will be about the OG flying tank buster, the German Stuka Ju-87G model. Hope you enjoy. So let's see, see something down here. Fortunately, never mind. One is down here. Whoa! That was hilarious. This video is a request video from Katil Koala, and he asked, can you also make a guide on the G2 with 37mm cannons? It's hard to aim the two. And yes, I of course would love to, especially since we're talking about the Stuka platform, and hell, even my logo is of a dog and a Stuka. And the dog, by the way, is called Squee. I lost Squee about 5 years ago, and he was a mix between a pit bull and a mastiff, and I still love and miss him very much. I'll briefly mention something about the history of this version of the Stuka. So in game we have the Henschel, the HS129 B2 and B3, and that plane actually came before the Stuka G models in actuality. So while the earlier HS129s were operational from 1942, the Stuka G model first saw combat in 1943. But in game, the Henschel HS129s are much more powerful, useful in ground IB, and that's also why they are later than the Stuka G models. It's all about in-game balance. So the Germans had issues with the first version of the HS129, and while they had to try to figure out all the quirks and getting into production, especially the B3 model, they began looking at something easy and cheaper in order to stem the growing number of Russian tanks they had to deal with. So the German Stuka ace, Hans Ulrich Rudel, suggested using a couple of Flak 18 cannons underneath the wings of a Stuka. And the Flak 18 guns were redesignated as Bordkanone BK 3,7. And BK of course stands for Bordkanone, which means onboard cannon. And this is what it looked like when the Stuka G model went into action back then.
Nun greifen Stuka die Landungsboote an, die sich in das Schilfdickicht der Kuban-Lagunen zurückgezogen haben. Aufwaffenfeuer! Die einzelnen Ziele sind kaum zu erkennen.
So here we have the original flying tank buster, the German Ju-87G models, or as they were also called, Kanonenvogel or cannon birds. So the Stuka G models used to be at 2.3 and 2.7, but recently there have been some BR changes, so now they're both sitting at 2.0, and the Stuka has definitely benefited from this change. So previously, with the G model sitting at 2.7, it was way too close to the 3.3 that the Henschel 129 B2 and B3 models are sitting at, or were sitting at that point. You use the G2 model at 2.7 and you were up in a 3.7 game. The planes you were facing, the fighters, and also the ground AAA could easily hit you and kill you very fast. You had very poor chances of surviving anything in ground RB, and that's also why it was so frustrating, because you got shot down straight away if you're not super careful. So with the lowering to the 2.0 BR, you are mainly facing rifle caliber machine gun fire from enemy planes and not nearly as many 20mm cannons, and even more than that from the ground. So with the reduction of firepower it's up against, and also the fighters are much slower than they would be at 2.7, your chances of survival has increased a lot. I would say doing this video, and in general whenever I'm flying this plane, I rarely, if ever, get shot down by ground fire. If I'm having issues, it's always with enemy planes. Since both the G1 and the G2 model is using the same fuselage as the G3 and G5 models, that also means that you're getting the armor protection that those two models have. And that means 4mm on the bottom of the engine compartment, and the pilot and the gunner is sitting in a bathtub that is protected by 4mm thick armor plates. And there's a armor plate of 8mm thickness between the gunner and the pilot. And that again also means that if your gun is taken out, there's a big chance that you're actually going to survive as a pilot. Since, like I said before, most of the guns on the planes you're facing will only be rifle caliber. And directly from the front, there's a small piece of bulletproof glass. It's not very large, it's just to protect the pilot's face so she's not getting an involuntary facial reconstruction. Okay, let's try to look at the stats. There's very little difference between the G1 and the G2 models. They both have the same top speed, the same turn time, but the G1 model actually has a slightly better rate of climb than the later G2 model. And that is because the G1 model is using the bigger wings of the Stuka D3 model, while the G2 model is using the shorter wings or smaller wings of the Stuka D5 model. Only other stat difference is the amount of ammo you have for the rear gunners. So you have 1700 rounds for the G2 model, but the G1 model has 2000 rounds of ammo. But that is completely irrelevant since you're probably going to be dead before you ever get close to that amount of ammo spent. Besides the stats, the only other difference is the rewards. As you can see, you're getting slightly better stats or more rewards from the G2 model compared to the G1 model. And the max repair cost for the G2 model is a little higher. So the main attraction or main event for the G models is of course the 37mm cannons. Now I'm looking at the G1 model, but it doesn't really matter since they are identical both for the G1 and the G2 model. You're getting access to 3 different kinds of builds. The first default one, you start off with an armor piercing round, then a high explosive round, and armor piercing, and so forth. The second build is the most important one and the one we are going to use all the time. And that build only has HVAP ammunition, high velocity armor piercing tracer shells. The armor pen for this 37mm cannon is very impressive, or the ammunition at least. At 10 meters it's a whopping 142mm, but that and the armor pen at 100 meters, 140mm is pretty much irrelevant. So let's go look at 500 meters, which is much more relevant for what we're going to use for. And that's still a very, very impressive 97mm. At the new battle rating at 2.0, and of course also at the old battle rating at 2.7 and 2.3, and beyond that, there's no armor that can really withstand this kind of armor pen. You're going to be able to kill everything. The only thing that will stop you if you hit an odd angle or get a ricochet. And lastly, you have access to a build only consisting of high explosive fragmentation tracer shells. Now this build is of course not really meant to be used against ground targets. You can use it for SPAAs, but that's about it. The whole reason behind this build is being able to shoot down enemy bombers, and it's pretty good at that. But if you want to shoot down bombers with a Stuka, I suggest you go with the D5 model and equip it with the 4 extra 20mm cannons. And then you're going to get a head-on monster, which reminds me I'm probably going to make a video on that at some point. The turrets on the Stukas, and especially the later models, are also very effective. In the turret you have 2 light machine guns. They fire very fast and they have a very large arc of fire, but I'll show you that in a minute. The build to use for the rear gunner is the APT. You first start out with an armor piercing incendiary bullet, then the next one is an armor piercing tracer bullet. And that combination is a great party mix, so you'll both have a capability of penetrating armor, while you can also set fuel tanks on fire. So 2.8 meters, nearly 3 meters, that's basically half the length of an entire tank. Besides unlocking the armor-piercing ammunition itself, the most important upgrade to get is of course the new 37mm cannon upgrade. If we look at it quickly, the most important thing in that upgrade is of course the minus 2.8 meter weapon spread at 500 meters. So 2.8 meters, nearly 3 meters, that's basically half the length of an entire tank. And that's really make it or break it if you're gonna hit or not. Definitely get that one done as soon as you can. It's much more important than the survivability and the flight performance. So knowing the flight characteristics and how the plane behaves in general, and knowing your gun's capability, it's actually very important if you're going to have success with G models or not. My suggestion for the gun conversions is either 600 or 700 meters for the cannons. And there are several reasons for that. First, of course, the guns are capable of destroying everything at that range with no problem at all. And secondly, which is just as important in my opinion, it will also increase your survivability a lot. So you can engage from further out, but you can also disengage from further out after you've taken a shot or two. There is one drawback with having the gun conversions at 600 or 700 meters, and that is the rear gun or light machine gun also is having the same convergence. And that means that at certain distances there's a chance that you will actually shoot over the plane that you are trying to shoot down, chasing you. I prefer to fly on the outskirts of an AO, just swinging in to do a pot shot or two and then swing out again before you're hitting the main AO. Otherwise, I would suggest that you either take a shot or two, then fly as fast as you can across the map, and then get away, get some altitude, or try attacking again from another direction. Never ever try to do combat maneuvers right over the center of a map, because you'll be a sitting duck. You are incredibly slow and you are heavy. Every gun, no matter the caliber, will be trained on you if you start to maneuver or turn in the middle of the map. I suggest you spend some time on the test range to figure out where you are aiming at certain distances. And let's try to attack the T-34, putting on the hitting the T so we can see the distance. And like I said, gun convergence is 700 meters, so let's try this. And as you can see here, both 37mm cannon rounds hit perfectly at that range, and it was an instant kill. Both pinned the T-34 side with no issues at all. Now I suggest you actually keep using the range estimation set to on for some times, so figure out how big the tank or SPA is in the target or the reticles whenever you're attacking. And then after a few try runs, you can do it without having the range set on, and then hopefully you will get the same results after some trials and errors. When we talk about the rear gunner on the G2, you have access to very effective range. Try to look at this. It's out to, let's see, where does it stop? Around here. I would say that's about 60 or 70 degrees to either side. It stops right around there, and then a high arc almost 90 degrees up. So range wise or movement wise, the rear gunners are, or the rear gunner is absolutely excellent. Now of course you can either choose to see this in a third person view, or you can choose to see it as a first person view. In order to do so, you hit escape, options, air battle settings, camera from aircraft gunner side, set one to yes, and close, and resume. Change it up. Now you see it from the first person view. I sometimes do this just because it gives you a little more immersion, it's a little more exciting, and you actually zoom in a little more, so you are a little more precise. But the downside is that you're losing the situational awareness, so you don't really know what's going on around you. You are concentrating on the guy who's attacking you only, and you're completely losing the big picture. And that's actually a big minus. So it's up to you whether you want to do the first or third person. It kind of depends on the situation. But in general use, I would probably choose to do the third person view, just so we can see what's going on all around you. Somebody's been tagged down there. Now, another thing that's good about this plane is you actually have access to diving brakes, and sometimes they are going to be super useful for you and effective. I'm sorry I didn't do any good there. And using the diving brakes, especially the first time you spawn in, probably a good idea, because in a dive like I just performed, you're not going to be able to pull out again without the diving brakes. Let's try that guy. Got a nice hit on his engine. Oh, we have a baddie up. Okay. I need to show him my pretty rear. See if I can find him again. Maybe get some altitude. Makes the rear gunner's job a little easier. No? Not coming? Well, I'm still gonna get that altitude to help me out. And I think in general, or suggest in general, that you just should play on the outskirts of the map. Even though of course it requires that you're going to do a sharp turn at some point, I think it's worth it. There's another plane up. I'm not sure what he's going to dive on. But you can actually sometimes... Oh! If you're lucky like that. Kill them with 37mm cannons. Oh, that was fun. Okay. And I'm actually okay again. And the kill assist was on the... yeah, T-26, the guy I destroyed the engine of. We are over the Finland map, and I'm trying to come in perpendicular to all the baddies, and let's see what you can see. I'm trying to find just any movement. Actually, I think there's something down there. Oh. Yep, got a nice crit. Let me just use the speed and get out of there again. And then I'm gonna try that again with as much speed as I can get. Right there. Ooh, that was pretty. And I can tell that guy did not have the minimum ammunition with him, because I ammo racked him with one of the ammo storages on his side. It just cost him his life. So next time, take around 30, I think it's 32 round maximum. And an M4, and that will only use one ammo rack, and that will definitely increase survivability. Well, let me go help with this guy then. Oh, nicely done, nicely done. And we are capping. Okay, let me just try this, although I'm super slow. Let me see if I can see anything over here. No, oh, that guy down there, he's still alive, but I can't do anything
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Maybe I can mark him. Oh. Did actually mark him. Oh, look how slow I am. Oh, I'm so slow, I'm so slow. I'm sorry, dude, I'm so sorry. I can't really... Ah, no. Ah. That was unfortunate. That was actually pretty close. Okay, let me get away and get some speed. And now, see, now I should be in a good position to try this. Yeah, I'm gonna try. The triple A is probably gonna kill me because I'm so slow. There he is. Ooh, whoa. I think there's a guy on me. Oh. Yep. Oh! The rear gunner killed him by himself. Oh, and I got an assist on the other one. Oh my god, that is hilarious. I feel bad for you getting killed by an AI gunner, which actually has 0 points in his skill. That's bad. We are over the Japan map. Let's see. There's being Ford of you losing Bravo. And I see something down there on the road. It's probably gonna disappear into Cephorus maybe, so let me just use my diving brakes. Ah, okay. Oh. Whoa! Okay. This mission is already, whoa. Yep, no, don't be angry. It's already a hit. Whoa! Whoa, okay. Got 2 planes shot down. I am over the Fields of Normandy map, and it was actually a pretty rough start. But, whoa, what is going on down there? Ooh, you're welcome. But we managed to wrest back a couple of points from the opposing team, and I decided to J out. I was actually having a little good time in my little German scouting vehicle, a little premium. But yeah, okay, so another potential target. Oh. Got his engine. Nice crit, at least he's mobilized for a little while and burning a little. I'm turning outside of the... Oh, I haven't really seen it in AAA, that's why I'm being a little more brave. Ah, okay. We got another one here. Okay, let's go take a look at Charlie. I don't see anything at Charlie. Oh, but never mind, there we have the AAA. Let me just remove myself from that equation. Yep. Go on, have fun, just keep doing that. They are getting Alpha back though, so I guess I need to go look after all. Yeah, guys, you really need to do something about Charlie now, otherwise this is... Well, maybe I can get another kill or tap somebody over here. This guy in front of me in the field, if I'm lucky. Is he killed? Well, I got another kill assist out of that one, okay. Ooh, this is getting actually very interesting. I actually decided it's time to spawn in this plane very late. Also because there has been a lot of enemy planes up and they're basically all gone now. So that's it. Also, I tried to change the camera from first to third person view on the rear gunner. These guys, I'm not going over there, so you can forget about that. Yeah. I don't know why that Stuka just thought it was a good idea to do what he did, but he paid for it. And there's another angry one over there. Yep. Unfortunately, we are pretty low now, so every death now is probably going to help us. We'll just type. Definitely keep yourself alive, because we're so close that every death will pretty much end this. So people need to be careful. Okay, child, let's go try to look over their spawn. Don't see any movement. That of course doesn't really mean anything. There's a guy heading to Bravo. Okay, I think this was a bad idea what I'm doing right now, but let me just give it a go. Hit his engine. Got another crit out of it. Oh, and another kill assist. So far, this has actually been pretty good. I've gotten 1 kill and 3 kill assists out of it. And I'm down to 2 rounds for each cannon. So just a kill assist, I mean being able to stop them and maybe killing a crew member too or something, everything counts. Oh, there we go. Yep. He's actually pretty good in that AAA, so I'm not gonna go over there. Yep. I think I've done my duty. If you can win this. Wow. Super nice. That was it for this little video. Do me a favor and subscribe, like or comment. I will be adding some links into the video description for some other videos that might be relevant for you if you like this one. And there will also be links for other ways for you guys to support the channel if you wish to do so. Thank you for watching. Until next time, have a good one.